Have you ever wondered why honey, unlike most food items, never seems to spoil? Well, there's a fascinating story behind that. Honey, this sweet golden liquid that we drizzle on our pancakes and mix into our teas, is more than just a delightful treat. It's a food item that's been around for ages, cherished by many. And yet, it seems to have an almost magical ability to remain fresh and edible indefinitely. Take, for instance, the tales of archaeologists stumbling upon pots of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs. We're talking about honey that's been sitting undisturbed, not for a decade, not even for a century, but for over 3,000 years. And here's the kicker: it was still perfectly edible. Imagine tasting a drop of history, a sweet relic that has outlasted empires and civilizations. So what makes honey so incredibly long-lasting? Let's dive into that, shall we? When it comes to longevity, honey is quite a marvel, and the secret lies in its unique composition and the process through which it is made. Let's start with the honey production process. It begins when bees collect nectar from flowers. The bees then store this nectar in their honey stomachs, where it mixes with enzymes that transform its chemical composition and pH. The bees then regurgitate the nectar into the honeycombs of their hive. Here's where the magic happens. They fan their wings to evaporate the water in the nectar, reducing its moisture content to about 17 to 18%. This low moisture content is one of the keys to honey's longevity. Now let's talk about honey's chemical makeup. Honey is naturally acidic, with a pH between 3 and 4.5. This acidity creates an environment that is inhospitable to many bacteria and other microorganisms that could cause spoilage. Essentially, honey's acidity acts like a natural preservative, keeping it fresh for centuries. But the science doesn't stop there. Honey also contains an enzyme called glucose oxidase. When bees add this enzyme to the nectar, it breaks down into two components: gluconic acid and hydrogen peroxide. The gluconic acid contributes to honey's acidity, while the hydrogen peroxide acts as another line of defense against microbial growth. Hydrogen peroxide is a powerful antimicrobial agent. You might know it as the stuff you use to clean cuts and scrapes. In honey, it helps to prevent the growth of yeasts and bacteria, further enhancing honey's longevity. However, it's worth noting that the hydrogen peroxide in honey is at much lower levels than what you'd find in a bottle at the drugstore. To sum it up, honey's long-lasting nature can be attributed to its low moisture content, acidic pH, and presence of hydrogen peroxide. These factors work in harmony to create an environment that's unfriendly to bacteria and other spoilage-causing organisms. So, it's the unique combination of honey's composition and production that gives it its impressive shelf life. Let's quickly recap the fascinating factors that contribute to honey's eternal shelf life. Firstly, we have the low moisture content. Honey is a hygroscopic substance, which means it naturally draws moisture out of the environment. Bees play a crucial role in this process, fanning their wings to evaporate excess water. This results in honey's thick, syrupy consistency and ensures that harmful bacteria and microorganisms can't thrive, contributing to its impressive longevity. Secondly, honey's acidic pH is another key player in its long-lasting nature. The average pH of honey is around 3.9. Placing it on the acidic side of the scale. This acidity, derived from the bee's transformation of nectar into honey, is unfriendly to many bacteria and fungi that would otherwise spoil the honey. It's like a natural fortress, protecting the sweet treasure within. Next up is the presence of hydrogen peroxide. You might know this substance from its use in cleaning wounds, and it's just as effective in honey. When bees gather nectar, they add an enzyme called glucose oxidase. Once honey comes into contact with moisture, this enzyme breaks down and produces hydrogen peroxide, a mild antiseptic. This acts as another line of defense against microbial invaders, helping honey stay fresh indefinitely. But these factors alone aren't enough. For honey to maintain its longevity, it needs to be stored correctly, sealed, and away from moisture. When honey is exposed to air and moisture, it can become susceptible to fermentation and crystallization. However, even crystallized honey hasn't gone bad, and can be returned to its liquid state with gentle heating. So the combination of low moisture content, acidic pH, and hydrogen peroxide, along with proper storage, makes honey a champion in the food longevity league. It's a wonderful example of nature's ingenuity, with bees creating a product that not only tastes delightful, but also stands the test of time. So, next time you enjoy some honey, remember the incredible journey it's been on, and the unique properties that make it a food item that truly stands the test of time. If you enjoyed learning about the immortal sweetness of honey, don't forget to show your support.